The Seattle Seahawks are going to win today. Why, though? I'll tell you that here in a little bit, but we have to grow the show. Right now, the 49ers report here on Chat Sports is absolutely kicking our butt when it comes to their weekly subscribers. They are over 100 subscribers ahead of us, but we still have time to catch them before kickoff today. The only way to make sure that you do that, one, subscribe to the video if you already aren't. Subscribe to the channel. Shame on you if you are not. If you are, find a friend. Let a fellow 12 know that we're talking Seahawks football every freaking day here on Seahawks Today with your host, Will Ortner. Now, let's get into the video. Now, I'm not Nostradamus. I don't have a crystal ball. I'm not coming out here and telling you, hey, the Seattle Seahawks are going to win by X amount. But I know that if the Seahawks follow my keys to victory, they're going to find a way to win this rivalry game against the 49ers. And frankly, they have to. They have to win this game and get off to a hot start, not just on the 2025 season, but also a hot start in the division. Now, the first key for Seattle, if they want to win this game, there's a reason why I got Kenneth Walker's picture up. They need to pound the rock. You're going to hear me say it from time to time, PTR, later on when it's Cullen and I calling the game. Don't miss the watch party. You got to make sure you want to tune in. But if Seattle can control the time of possession and run the football at a highly efficient rate, that means 3.5 to 4 yards a carry. That means setting yourself up so that you don't fall behind the chains. That means allowing your offensive line to lean on the defensive line of the San Francisco 49ers. You will win this football game. Offensive coordinator Kenneth Kubiak's system relies on the run game first. And what I mean by that is he wants the offensive line moving forward and that run game moving forward, getting yards in the long outside zone scheme. He wants the defense moving. He wants his running backs with their eyes looking for an open hole to take and get a big gain. If Seattle is able to run the ball at a high level, San Francisco is going to have to commit more players into the box. Defensively, you like to have one player for each gap when it comes into the run scheme. A way for Kenneth Kubiak to mess with these gaps is by adding in a tight end or two or a fullback and a tight end. Bunch formations. Kubiak's going to play with all these different things. And it's going to allow the offensive line to start moving. I love the athleticism that Jalen Sundell has at center. Right now, when I look at this offensive line unit, I see a bunch of athletic freaks when it comes to that position. Now, I don't necessarily mean that they are going to be running around doing backflips every chance they get. But when Sundell is in the Brian Baldinger breakdown on X, and I see him running 5 yards downfield, laterally 10, to get to a linebacker that allows 1 extra second for Zach Charbonnet to cut off him and hit back door, get a big gain in the preseason, those are things that I find exciting. Those are things that tell me that this Seahawks offense can work at a high level. And then what's going to happen? The 49ers are going to have to commit more than just one guy for every gap. They're going to have to commit an extra guy into the box. What I mean by that is if you have your 5 offensive linemen down, there are 6 gaps, one on every single side of those O-linemen. So what most defenses will do is they'll put 6 guys in the box. Well, if you're running the ball the way I think the Seahawks can, the way they did in the preseason game against the Kansas City Chiefs, the 49ers are going to have to commit a 7th guy into that box. What does that mean? That means that you have one-on-one matchups on the outside for your wide receivers to take advantage of. But it starts up front. Gray Zabel and that crew, they got to perform at a high level. I'm excited to see the rookie go. In the preseason, PFF had him graded, I believe, as the 3rd best overall rookie when it came to grades. Gray Zabel needs to continue to play at that high level, at that high rate. Abe Lucas, you just signed a new contract extension earlier on in the week. Go make that money. Show everybody that you're worth it. And the way to do that is by opening running lanes for these 2-headed monsters. And I guess I should say this two-headed monster. That would be proper English. But I think that you're going to see Seattle use both running backs at an equal to equal-ish clip. Charbonnet showed in the preseason that not only can he find the holes, he can hit them at the exact right moment to where he gets a big gain. I believe that Kenneth Walker is going to come out and have a big-time performance because he's had a lot of people, myself to a degree included, that have been negative towards him and how he's looked and performed basically over the last year. Some of it isn't his fault. He's had some injury issues. But he has not looked like he did when he was a rookie and his second year in the league. He needs to continue to play at a high level, and I think they can do that if they get that ground game going. If they get that ground game at the level that we know in Seattle it can be. I got 3 other keys that I got to break down and get in the middle of. But before I do that, I got to talk about today's wonderful sponsor. It's the HOF app. Our listeners get a 7-day free trial and 50% off their first month. Just download the HOF app and use code CHAT at checkout. Now, you know me, 12s. I love gambling on sports, responsibly, of course, but I'm not the best math guy. I'm always looking for an edge, and the HOF app gives me that edge. Sometimes I need help when I'm in the lab crafting up my bets, especially my parlays. There's a lot of things going on. I use the HOF app to find the historical data and trends that I'm searching for to give myself the best chance to hit on my bets and parlays. We all have that one friend, today we're calling him Steve, who constantly complains about losing a 4-leg parlay on their very last leg. The HOF app can help Steve and you out. The HOF app crunches millions of data points in seconds to help guide you on whatever bet you want to place. The app is going to be super easy to use. Now I don't have to rely on just my gut when I'm making bets. I can use math and analytics created by Ivy League sports geeks to bet smarter, not harder. For a limited time only, our listeners not only get a 7-day free trial, but they also get 50% off their first month when they use code CHAT at checkout. Just download the HOF app on iOS or Android, enter code CHAT, and you're all set. You don't want to miss out. Now, Seattle, after they've pounded the rock, that doesn't necessarily guarantee victory. I know producer Reed is hoping that that's what it's going to be, but producer Colin and myself, we know there's more to it than just running the football effectively. You got to win the turnover battle in this one. In my eyes, there's a couple different things that the Seahawks team can do. Offensively, this guy right over here, he's got to be smart with the football. He cannot turn the ball over. We cannot revert back to Sam Darnold when he played for the New York Jets. We can't be seeing ghosts out there. We can't be worried about Nick Bosa and the rest of the 49er crew getting after him. He can't be throwing the ball up so that DBs have an opportunity to go and make a play on the football and try and get interceptions. Early in Sam Darnold's career, it was a plague for him. 2021, more interceptions than touchdowns. Atrocious. Yuck. But then, after some time as a backup, what did Sam Darnold do? He learned what he's good at and what he's not good at. And frankly, Sam Darnold is good at being a game manager. You saw it last year in Minnesota. He was a top 5 quarterback statistically when it came to yards, passing, and also to touchdowns. Those are huge stats when it comes to our Seattle Seahawks. I'm not asking Sam Darnold to be top 5 in those stats. I'm asking Sam Darnold to just be smart with the football. If Sam Darnold is top 5 in one stat and I get to pick it, it's going to be interceptions because that means that he's not turning the ball over. This team offensively is good enough to get into the end zone if they don't shoot themselves in the foot, and he's the key cog in that. Defensively, last year, I felt like Seattle left a lot of, we'll call them opportunities on the table. It felt like at times they were more okay with being a bend but don't break type of defense. That's perfectly fine. But when you've got DBs like we have here in Seattle with Devon, Witherspoon, and Woolen, I want them taking risks. Calculated risks, but I want them taking risks. If there is a 50-50 ball that's thrown up and Brock Purdy doesn't put it towards the sideline on a vertical route, go try and make a play on the ball. I'm not saying come completely out of your zone. I'm not saying bite on a fake. I'm not saying that Julian Love should go completely across the field to try and make an interception when he's supposed to have, that deep half on the right side. But I am okay if you're a deep safety or you're a cornerback in a zone, or maybe if you're in a man-to-man and a ball gets thrown in a position where you think you can go make a play on it. Go give me that peanut punch when you're trying to tackle Christian McCaffrey or George Kittle. Whoever's on this San Francisco wide receiver unit, because I know that unit is depleted. Go after the ball. Rip at it. Make turnovers. Give yourselves more opportunities to get in the end zone. If you have more chances to score offensively because your defense got the ball back to you, Seattle is going to capitalize on that. If you can get in the end zone more than the other team, you're going to win football games. Funny how that works. I think Seattle defensively needs to load the box in this game. And I know that's a little bit risky because I just said that Seattle's offensive game plan is to get San Francisco to load the box and then take advantage of those matchups on the outside. Here's the difference. You have wide receivers. San Francisco really doesn't. They've got Ricky Pearsall, who, look, man, he had a fine rookie campaign after he came back from being on the injury report. But nobody else on that team is ready to go. I understand it. Juwan Jennings is back, and he had a good year last year. He missed almost all of training camp. If I remember correctly, he's been out basically a month with a calf injury. Is he going to be rusty? MVS is probably going to be their third wide receiver option over in San Francisco. He was a guy that you cut. He was a guy that wasn't able to make your roster. So that means one man can beat you. And this isn't an offense towards George Kittle, and it's not an offense towards Brock Purdy. But when Christian McCaffrey is running the football the way that we all know he can, as the best running back in the NFL, this San Francisco 49ers team is different. They've gotten to 2 Super Bowls, almost winning both of them, when he's been rushing as one of the top, if not the top, rusher in the NFL. He is healthy right now. He's not on the injury report, to my knowledge. He's been basically taking his time, getting his body back to where it needed to be because he wasn't healthy last year. You need to find a way to stop him. Because if you can stop him with your interior defensive line, if Byron Murphy's making plays in the backfield, if Leonard Williams picks up right where he left off last year, and he's continuing to make plays against Christian McCaffrey, you've got a shot to win this football game. Because that's going to force Brock Purdy to throw. And while I don't think Brock Purdy is as bad as some other people, some other experts think he is, I don't think that he has the wide receivers on the outside that are going to help him out. Now, not every tackle has to be made by that interior. I need Batman and I need Robin to play at a high level. I've already talked this week about Tyrese Knight returning from injury. Show us that there's no rust. Play with your hair on fire. Fly downhill. Stop the run. Ernest Jones IV last year, in my eyes, was maybe your biggest addition of the year in 2024. He completely changed that defense when he became the leader at that Mike linebacker spot. Continue to play at the high level you were last year. We'll win this game against the 49ers, and you're probably going to see Ernest Jones IV on an all-pro list or a Pro Bowl list or two at the end of the year. I've already said it. It's not a diss on George Kittle. It isn't a diss on Brock Purdy. I think they're both high-quality players. Kittle better than Purdy. Again, no offense. George Kittle's probably the best tight end in the NFL. At worst, he's second or third. But I don't think that those two can beat you without Christian McCaffrey having a big game. You have to find a way to play on their side of the line of scrimmage and stop CMC. Even if that means bringing Nick Emanwari in at that nickel and loading the box. Frankly, even if that means adding an extra defensive lineman. Maybe we see Jared Ivey go a little bit more. Just so you can stop that rushing attack by the 49ers. I think Seattle will win the game if they're able to do that. Remember, that 49ers offense goes based on that run game. So you find a way to stop it. The last key to victory, when I was at Central Washington University, the great Washington State Normal School, after every game that we played in, we'd have a list. And on it, we needed 5 explosive plays. That can be a 20-yard rush or a 30-yard pass or more in both of those situations. You needed to have 5 explosive plays. I would tell you right now, Producer Reed, that probably 90% of the time that we hit 5 explosive plays or more, we won the dang ball game. Seattle has to do that on Sunday. They're big momentum shifters. When you have a 40-yard bomb to Cooper Kupp and he makes a contested 50-50 ball catch down the sideline, guess what you start hearing in Lumen? A lot of loud, happy 12s. I was about to yell there, and then I remembered they warned me about my yelling into the microphone, so I won't ruin your ears. But you can imagine what it's going to sound like later on today when you have a big play. When there's a big play in the run game, when Kenneth Walker makes a linebacker miss, he gets to the outside edge and he's running, and you can hear Steve Rabel on the radio call. He's at the 10, 5, touchdown. The place gets rocking. You have wide receivers on this offensive unit that are underrated. You have wide receivers on this offensive unit that are going to be Hall of Famers. At least one, and I think one's on track to be one as well. You have a rookie wide receiver in this unit that, frankly, I don't think gets enough credit because he missed most of his senior year due to injury. Whenever I see him have the ball in his hand, he's got some wiggle. There's something special to it. Oh, by the way, Jake Bobo, if he's ready to go, he's got 2 catches in the preseason for touchdowns against the Kansas City Chiefs. That guy has a knack for getting in the end zone. You need to dominate the skies. Obviously, I said explosive plays are great on the ground. I've already broken down the run game and how you're going to dominate the 49ers. In the air, Cooper Kupp and Jackson Smith-Njigba have to show to everyone that this wide receiver unit is being slept on right now. This is a top, we'll call it 10. Top 10 wide receiver unit, and they're going to have a lot of opportunities in this game because of that run game to take advantage of one-on-one matchups. Frankly, I wouldn't be shocked if there's a couple plays where you see a wide receiver for the Seahawks running absolutely scot-free because the play action fake from Sam Darnold was that good, and because the 49ers fell for it with how well they ran the football. If you can go out and execute, if you pound the rock and you hit your explosive offensively, the 49ers aren't going to beat you, especially not when you have a defensive unit that's flying around, getting interceptions, forcing fumbles, loading the box, stopping Christian McCaffrey. This Seattle Seahawks team will start 1-0, and they will let everybody know, Rich Eisen included, that ranking them as the 3rd best team in the NFC West is hot garbage. This is a team that can win the division. Let Vegas know that you are a team for real. If you execute these 4 keys to victory, you're going to be that team. We have a watch party today. It's going to be myself and producer Colin. We're having a great time. We're going to be jumping around. We're going to have an adult beverage or two. We're going to be watching our Seattle Seahawks. You don't want to miss it. Subscribe to the channel 1 hour before kick, whatever time it is in your time zone. Here in Dallas, it's going to be at 2 o'clock. If you're on the West Coast, that means it's going to be at noon because it's a 1 o'clock kick. Wherever you're at, 1 hour before kickoff, come back here to Seahawks Today. Have a good time with producer Colin and I as we celebrate not only the NFL returning, but our Seattle Seahawks returning to our lives with a victory. I'll see you later on today.